Welcome, everyone. At this time, I will call to order the meeting of the Kentucky Board of Education State Schools Committee. Normally, Dr. Poe chairs this committee, but he is not with us today, so Dr. Robinson asked me to chair. I'm happy to do that. I'll start with a roll call. Randy Poe, absent. Paul Long. Lawrence McCroby. Believe Dr. McCroby is here, perhaps muted. Dr. Robinson? Here. Steve Trimble? Here. Diane Woods? Here. Lou Young? Here. All right. Dr. McCroby, are you able to hear us? All right, we'll work with him on the side. Thank you. The first item for discussion for us today is a set of annual amendments to the Kentucky Tech policies and procedures. So with us today are Associate Commissioner Beth Hargis and KBE Director of Technical Schools and Continuous Improvement, Beth Engel. Thank you, ladies.
To talk about the Area Technology Center, so I'm going to turn it over directly to Beth Engel to walk you through the revisions.
Thank you very much for allowing us to be here today to bring these revisions to the State Schools Committee. So as you know, the Office of Career and Technical Education and the ATC's contract with the Kentucky School Board Association, or KSBA, to maintain the Kentucky Tech Policies and Procedures Manual, and they provide legislative-related updates and suggestions. We have 13 Kentucky Tech policies today that have proposed updates that align with legislative changes. Those changes were provided in advance in the portal for your review. I'm happy to answer any questions or go over any of those policies.
All right, thank you. That really was short and sweet. Paul, just so you'll know, we have 50 area technology centers in Kentucky, along with the School for the Deaf and the School for the Blind. So our committee spends time hearing from representatives of those area technology centers and our School for the Deaf and School for the Blind. So it's always a treat to have our CTE folks with us talking about our area technology centers. We call them ATCs. Paul's in Lincoln County. Where would their ATC?
Garrett County ATC?
Lincoln County and Garrett County ATC, and they offer different career tech areas. All right, thank you. You've had a chance to look at those in the portal, perhaps. Take a look if you have any questions. As Beth and Beth will attest, they are often very perfunctory in nature, and these are designed to align with statutory changes. Any questions from committee members? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the proposed revisions to the Kentucky Tech policies and procedures. Thank you, Ms. Woods. Do we have a second?
I second it.
Thank you, Mr. Trimble. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the amendments, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you all so much. And do we have KSB? Oh, here, sorry, I need to read my notes properly. With us today, I don't see Greta. So, Director of State Schools, Sharon Sparkman, will propose revisions to the Kentucky School for the Blind and Kentucky School for the Deaf policies and procedures.
Is this on? Maybe I just turned it off. Is that good? Okay. So, good morning. Are we still morning or are we afternoon? Did we just change? So, it's nice to be here. My name's Melody Cooper. I'm actually the policy advisor for the Office of Special Education and Early Learning. And both Greta and Shannon regret that they were not be able to join us today. Greta, some of you may know, she just had her third grandson born a few days ago, and so she was needed at home with her family. And then Shannon, unfortunately, had a death in her family and needed to attend the funeral today. So I'm here in their stead. And much like with the ATCs that you just heard, we contract with KSBA for our annual policy updates every year, just based on legislative changes and any legal decisions that may impact the schools. And so I did not count mine the way Beth did, but they were in your packet for review, along with a table that really broke down all of those revisions. So we just bring those to you for your approval, and I'm happy to take any questions.
every year, get those updates. Most of them subscribe to the service provided by KSBA, and this is that annual update for one set for School for the Blind and one for School for the Deaf. Any questions at all for Melody? Yes, ma'am, I'm open for a motion.
Then I will move to approve the proposed, the updated policies for KSB and KSD, right?
Excellent, thank you. We have a motion, do we have a second? Thank you, Mr. Trimble. On that motion and second, do we have further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please respond by saying aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. In the ladies' room, Beth told me it was going to be sweet and quick, and it certainly was. So I'll be happy to share our recommendations to the full committee, but at this time, we still have about 20 more minutes before we reconvene after lunch. No, we're going to go, we actually don't come back at all until after lunch.
That's correct. So, Melody, I know that you shared with the board some important dates for KSB and KSD. Would you like to take a minute and just give them kind of an update about the start of schools? And Dr. Hargis, if your team would like to do the same, since we do have this time, I know they love to hear about what's happening in our schools across the Commonwealth.
Don't hear me? I don't know what I did to that button. Okay. So another thing too related to our policies, we're actually working with KSB to undergo kind of a review of those as well in a couple of phases where we will add procedures onto our policies, and then the second phase will be going through and making sure that there's kind of an audit of all of the policies to make sure that we don't have any gaps in there. So that's another policy-related work that we've got forthcoming. And then, yes, the dates did get sent out. Let me flip to the correct tab here. I feel like I'm going right over it. We've got registration on August 11th, and on August 12th is going to be the first day for both of the schools. And one of the things, we've got August 12th first day through K-12, and then August 19th is when we have our first day of preschool at KSD. KSB doesn't have preschool students because they're served through the VIPS program, the Visually Impaired Preschool Program. The one really exciting thing that we have coming up on August 23rd, and I believe the time is still to be determined, but you do have that on your calendars, and we'll update you as we get more information. But the APH, the American Printing House, is going to be delivering the Monarch devices to KSB, which is it's a brand new assistive technology device that we were able to purchase. And they're going to bring it and do something really special. I think they're supposed to, the staff from APH are going to dress up as butterflies because it's called the Monarch device. And it should open up some really exciting opportunities for our students at KSB. It will be able to assist them in more quickly accessing materials that they can read through Braille, but then also where they can collaborate with sighted peers more easily and teachers. So it just sounds like a really exciting event. So that will be August 23rd when those are delivered, and they're going to do something special to surprise the students. So we will definitely keep this board updated when we learn more about those details. I believe that was it with the major dates with the beginning of school. So.
Dates are in your portal, board members. I've never heard of a Monarch device, so I'll see if I can make it by that day. Okay, wow. Okay. All right, thank you. And updates on your side from CTE, Beth?
These with you. You know, the ATCs are very excited to begin the 24-25 school year and to continue to serve the 130 local school districts that they serve by providing those very high-quality CTE programs and pathways that really center on providing vibrant, innovative learning experiences and and they've worked well, of course, with their stakeholders and their communities. So just to get the ATCs started, we have 4 new principals this year. We're very excited to welcome them on board. They're at Caldwell Regional Career Center, Corbin Area Technology Center, Montgomery County, and Ohio County Area Technology Centers. We've been mentoring and working with those principals. They come from varied backgrounds, and in addition to the mentorship and orientation they've already got, they will have a dedicated new ATC principal orientation coming up on September 17th in the Sauer Building right here in Frankfurt. So if you want to drop in and say hi to them in room 516, we will be there all day. We do have some updated programming changes, and so we always work to meet regional demands, working with our stakeholders within our communities. And some of the changes that we've had to meet some of those local demands at Corbin ATC, we changed the EMT and the IMT programs to carpentry and HVAC. At Montgomery County ATC, they have changed carpentry to HVAC, and in Estill County, they changed their electrical program to a welding program. So we're very excited about those changes as well. 23 ATCs are currently in session and have students today. All ATCs will be in session by August the 26th. We do still have 15 teacher vacancies that we are working to fill, and we're working with our local school districts and partners in those areas to determine the appropriate action for each one of those programs. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about the ATCs.
Tell me again about how many vacancies?
Currently, we have 15. Now, of those 15, we do have 5 that are contingent upon the final approval for the candidate that has been chosen.
So how would you distinguish, what are the different dynamics in workforce development, particularly teachers, instructors, in the ATCs and the other typical high school, middle to high school programs? I mean, our teachers at ATCs have content and skill. The teachers in high schools have content and skills. But what are the workforce market issues that you face?
Recruiting those teachers? Okay, so that is a very good question. Of course, we do face the same kind of obstacles that all of our districts are facing right now in a teacher shortage. Specifically for our teachers, they have to be occupation-based professionals and have to have a minimum of 4 years of experience within that occupation before they can be considered to be certified as a CTE instructor. Once they have been selected, then they have to continue into a 2-year program to get that teacher credential, that 5-year credential. And then some of them will still have to continue to get a minimum of an associate degree after that, just depending on what degrees they may have came in with at the time of hire. So that adds to the challenge of you make more money in industry. You have to have experience to come to the ATC. Plus, you have that continuing education that you have to get. We also have that shortage in the workforce where we just have the skills gap as we see nationwide and in Kentucky. So we have a shrinking pool of professionals that we can recruit from. We have had success in working with human resource professionals in these different occupation areas and been able to recruit some retiring professionals as they're leaving the occupation and recruit them into teachers or into our ATCs. So we face several challenges.
And if I could just clarify, Beth mentioned our occupation-based instructors, but we do have traditionally certified staff for business and marketing, and some of those that have been around for a while, but the occupation-based are generally for the shop classes. And so again, it is especially hard, it's hard to fill all of them, but especially when you're taking that pay cut coming from business and industry and having to meet those requirements with the experience and just getting thrown into a classroom, really. So one thing that we have done is, and we started this several years ago, but we have what's called the New Teacher Institute, And so that counts for some of the college hours that the candidates must have. And it really does, rather than just handing them the keys and saying, have at it, they get that in the summer before school starts, if they're hired in a timely manner, where we can say, this is what you're going to get caught with maybe on the first day, and this is what you need to be prepared for. And so then we really work to mentor them with outside mentors and mentors within the buildings, so that we can really walk them through and keep them up to date, and just, keep asking them, you are coming back tomorrow, because that, you never know.
And I will add on to what Dr. Hargis just said, that the New Teacher Institute, or the NTI program, really has worked to increase the CTE instructor retention rate to 80 to 85%. So it really is effective in keeping those teachers in the classroom.
This may not be the right question, but which two of you work with the student organizations?
While we both do, and we've both been FBLA advisors in our prior lives, but that's actually in a different division in our office. So Robin Linton is actually our branch manager over all of the CTSOs.
Okay, because I want my name on the list.
Oh, thank you,
I've had
absolutely.
the most fun judging and attending some of the conventions, and then found out even my own nephew was one in, I think he said gaming or something, and he went on to the state and another level with that. So please put me on the list, and it's something I hope that more people will do, because it really was fun.
Well, and thank you so much for reminding us of that as well, because those opportunities usually come in the spring, but we will make sure to send invitations to all of you, because it's a wonderful experience when you get to go in and work with those kids and watch them demonstrate their skills.
So are there any plans for them coming back to the Sauer building and do the presentation that they did last year? That was great.
We're trying. We'd love to do that on an annual basis now. Sometimes it's kind of hard with the grant process that we have and getting them in there, but they love it. They love it too.
It's nothing like having the students be your teacher.
Yes. Any other questions for Melody or Beth Please.
Just take that opportunity also to point out brag about those Russell Independent students with their statue and their.
It was beautiful.
It was great, and just the things that we see in our classrooms in CTE and others. We have some of the best and brightest that are competing each and every day, and to see that in these competitions is so much fun, and a lot of pride there in that too.
And it checks all our boxes: student-centered, vibrant learning experiences, projects, relevant.
Exactly. All right, thank you. Thanks everyone for support of our meeting. At this time, I'm open to a motion to adjourn our committee meeting. Thank you, Dr. Robinson, and a second from Mr. Trimble. All those in favor, please respond by saying aye. And we have a 30-minute lunch break to about 12:45, I think. We'll stretch that just a little bit and be ready to reconvene at that time.